Okay, we're gonna get started on this live stream. Hey guys, it is Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Hi, Fun Disney fan. Great to see you. Glad you can make it. I'm excited to be streaming with you guys on, I guess, Super Bowl Sunday. Not that it matters much to me. Look, I'm gonna be completely frank. I don't care about football. Hey AlliePop1111. So weird. You guys are popping into chat, but my YouTube is telling me nobody's watching. It's very bizarre. I'm not a football fan. I am going to a party because I enjoy hanging out with my friends, and that is where they will be. I couldn't care less, about football. But, you know, it's a thing to do on Super Bowl Sunday, I guess. I'm kind of bummed because apparently I just read news that Star Wars trailer will not be happening. That was one of the big reasons why I'm watching it. But I just read an article that said that they're not going to be doing a Star Wars trailer during the game, which is a bum. Echo, weird. Strange. Is that better? Hold on, we did this before. We had an echo last time. Give me a second. Okay, is that better? This happened last time, that we had an echo. So let me know if this is better. It's like a setting in OBS that likes to keep turning on. It does it every single time, even though I save my settings to be a certain way. Okay, cool. Yeah, sometimes OBS likes to turn on the audio of like something else. It's really annoying. Anyway, super bummed that there's no Star Wars trailer happening for Super Bowl. But hopefully soon. I mean, guys, it's coming out in December, right? Like, I feel like we need to get something about this movie. But anyway, today's topic is actually one that you guys requested. Actually, you guys requested a bunch of different stuff, which I'm going to get through. I'm actually pulling up some of your questions right now, especially for the people who aren't going to be able to make it. Some people left me some questions, which was super cool. But this is actually, Fun Disney fan, this is coming from your idea that you sent me. So thanks for coming up with the idea for today's live stream. But I want to talk about what is the worst thing about your favorite attraction. So you have, say, your favorite attractions in Disney World, Disneyland, can be any park. But like, we all know that our favorite things still have flaws, right? So I want to talk about what is the thing that you dislike the most about your favorite attraction, even though it is your favorite attraction. So think long and hard about this one. This might be easy for some people and hard for other people, but I thought it'd be really interesting to think about. So my favorite attraction is Flight of Passage, aside from the long waits, which I think isn't obvious. I think one of the things I dislike the most is that it doesn't have a full single rider line. Apparently it was supposed to. Apparently that was in the plans, and then it kind of just didn't happen when they were building out the theming and the queue. And so if you've ever done single rider in Flight of Passage, you have to wait with everybody else, and then you get to go in a single rider line at the very end. It's like that last loading area before you're actually getting into all of your rooms. And maybe it saves you like 15 minutes. I think that ride really could have benefited from a single rider line, because there's so many seats. They're filling in, like 16 people? You're definitely gonna have single riders here and there. So I think it would have kept things moving a little quicker. That's just me. So that's one of my favorites, and that's something that I feel like they really need to fix. The Traveling Soldier says all the missing and unfixed effects in Indiana Jones at Disneyland. Yeah, I noticed that on my last trip. There seemed to be a lot of things that weren't working the way that they should, and it was unfortunately kind of obvious. My husband rode it for the first time in our last trip and was kind of like, meh, it was okay. But I also felt bad because he didn't get to see exactly what Indiana Jones should be, you know, because there really is a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed on that ride, unfortunately. Hi, Lion. Hi, Riley. Just seeing a bunch of you guys coming in on the chat. Thank you for joining me today. If you're making some dips for football. I hope you're multitasking. Fun Disney fan says the Disneyland Paris commercial with Donald, they turned into a Disney Paris commercial. Oh yes, we'll talk about that in a little bit. For sure. I have that on my list. Pete Booth says Alien Encounter, the worst thing being it doesn't exist anymore. I totally agree. I loved that ride so much, guys. Like, you know how Rob, if you guys watch Rob Plays, is like very nostalgic for Horizons. I am really nostalgic for Alien Encounter. I think it's one of the things that spawned my love of horror and scary things, and I wish it was still around. Napri AP is here, guys. If you don't know Napri AP, fantastic Disneyland channel. You should go check them out. They are wonderful. We've done some videos together. I got to meet them the last time I was in Disneyland. Lovely, lovely people. I'm so glad you guys could be here. Courtney, hello. Fun Disney fan says a single rider queue was built and is still there. They only don't use it because it is poorly laid out. I guess we're talking about Flight of Passage. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the worst thing for me. I think Flight of Passage is an amazing ride, but single rider line, come on, guys. Alipop1111 says, my favorite attraction is Soarin'. I think they should put more theaters and make it so even the back rows have great unobstructed views. Hi, Janet. Good morning. For people just joining, the topic right now is, what is the worst thing about your favorite attraction? It doesn't have to be Disney World, can be Disneyland, could be international parks, but what is the worst part about the attraction or attractions that you love the most? So that's what we're talking about. Yeah, I mean, Soarin' for me, it's definitely not a favorite for me. I'll be honest. But I mean, I think the biggest complaint is it's such a great ride, but like, you know, Leaning Tower of Eiffel, as I like to call it, it's really hard to get a great view. We did it twice on the last trip and actually lucked out because for the first time in a very long time, I got a middle row, and it looked normal. But it's a real shame that like a big part of that theater is not going to get the best perspective of everything in that video. Fun Disney fans says Flight of Passage, the worst part is when it ends and you have to exit. I totally agree. And then when you're like, I want to ride it again, and then the line is like 4 hours and you're like, no thanks. That is the worst part. Bill P, I am having a good day. Thank you for wishing it. It's been good. It's been a good day, good weekend. Got some videos recorded, got some things being edited. Next part of the vlog is out tomorrow. Good, we're doing good today. Courtney says, my favorite attraction is Splash Mountain, but the worst thing is definitely trying to strategically figure out where to sit so you don't get absolutely drenched during the ride. I agree, and I'm a person who refuses to wear a poncho on like wet rides. Like I'm that person who's like, oh God, like if you don't want to get wet, then don't ride it. That said, I don't want to be wet for like hours afterwards, and for some reason, I am always put in the front row. I don't know why. I don't know how this happens. I feel like for a lot of people that would be great, but it always happens to me, and so I'm always getting soaked. Riley says, I love the thrilling rides at Disney, and some of these rides can get really loud. I'm not saying bring the volume down to a whisper, but some rides can really hurt my ears. You know what ride I feel like the volume has gone up since the last refurb? Dinosaur. I kind of like it. I mean, I think it makes it scarier, but I can totally understand how that could be really jarring for someone who's not expecting that and could kind of hurt for somebody who's sensitive to that kind of stuff. So I get it. I totally understand. Pete Booth says, Haunted Mansion, 3 words, Haunted Mansion Holiday. You really think that's the worst part? I mean, I'm a big Nightmare Before Christmas fan, and I was so bummed that I didn't get to see it when I was in Disneyland because the lines were just crazy. Like, I just couldn't justify it. But the thing I hear about that people complain about is that it's so long. Because it's Night Before Christmas, which you can say is a Halloween movie and a Christmas movie, they just run it through forever. So I can understand that. Lion says the worst part of Space Mountain is the wait time. Agreed. Fun Disney fan says Winnie the Pooh, the worst part is the Tigger bouncing scene. I like that scene. I mean, granted, I get what you're saying. Like, visually, there isn't much going on, but I like the concept of it. I don't know. That's just me. Hey, Veronica, thank you for joining. Matt Boyd says, I hate there is no on-ride photo on Big Thunder. Got front row last week and would have liked to show it off. I think about this every time, too. it's a ride that I feel like is just so natural for a photo. Like, they added a photo for Pirates in the weirdest freaking part, and it always comes out bad, but you can't add a ride photo for Big Thunder. Yeah, kind of weird. Patrick says Haunted Mansion, the cast member telling us the ride is about to start again. It should be the ghost host. I see what you're saying. Like the announcement. Yeah, I get you. Teresa says, I just got drenched front row a couple of days ago. We're talking about Splash Mountain. Yeah, if you're in the front row, you're screwed. Like, you can probably be okay second row, and beyond that, like, you know, you've got different chances, but front row, forget it. You're getting wet. Brad says, love Space Mountain, but sometimes the hard turns and jerking can cause some headaches. That happens to me in Rock and Roller Coaster because I'm short. I'm 5'2", and when I put the restraints down, they actually kind of come up to my head, which is terrible. Like, and my shoulders don't hit the top. And so when we do certain like things, my head rattles against the restraints. And I've definitely walked off Rock and Roller Coaster with a headache before. Even when I'm trying my best to keep my head back, and it still happens. The Traveling Soldier says, I also had they turn the lights up in the queue for Haunted Mansion. I don't know if it's an OSHA thing, but it's dumb when you can see the walls and ceiling. I can kind of agree with that. Let's see. Bill P says, I wish Pirates of the Caribbean was longer in Disney World. I agree. Disneyland is so good. And they have that whole, like, bigger opening part and 2 drops. And every time I experience that and then experience Disney World, it's, like, kind of disappointing. Janet says, the worst thing about the Figment ride is that it's so underrated. I don't know why not everyone loves this ride. It's Figment. You were going to hate my vlog when we get to the part where I was dragged on that ride. Because I do not agree. That is all I'm going to say. I do not agree. But that's fair. That's a completely valid opinion. I just don't agree. Hero75 says, my favorite ride is Haunted Mansion, but the last 2 times I went to Disney World, it was closed because they always seem to be updating it. Yeah, I mean, I think that ride also breaks down a lot, so they're obviously doing a lot of maintenance. But I mean, Haunted Mansion's done some amazing things with refurbs and adding rooms and stuff. I feel like that's one of the rides that they really put a lot of effort into, which I appreciate. Let's see. But Disney fan says the original Journey into Imagination was great, but the current version is its pale shadow. That's why hardly anyone rides it. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really remember the original. I know I wrote it. I can't really remember it. I feel like I need to go back and watch like a YouTube video of it because people talk about that all the time, but like I can't remember it to like make the comparison. Riley says, one of my grandmother's favorite rides is It's a Small World. I know she's crazy, but even she agrees that the boat goes along really slowly. Small World, it like grew on me. I actually enjoy it a lot more now, but my problem with that ride is every single time the boat's back up. Like, I've never like smoothly gotten back to dock. Not even like, I understand if I'm a boat or 2 behind. No, I have been backed up into the last scene before they even say goodbye, like so many times. It's just not the best in terms of like getting off that ride. P Booth says 5'2", are there any rides you can't go on? No, but we joke about that every time that we're there. Yes, I am little, so a lot of roller coasters with those overhead restraints just don't work out for me. Yarly's Encarnacion says, I love Rock and Roller Coaster, but I hate the first few seconds where the air is pressed against you and can't breathe for a while. Oh, you mean like in the launch? Yeah, for sure. I mean, so that you think that's bad? There's actually a roller coaster in Six Flags Weird Adventure here in over in Jersey called, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it. It's one of their really huge wooden coasters. And I'm now completely blanking on the name of it. I'm terrible. I'm going to have to look it up. But it has one of the biggest drops I've ever experienced in my life. El Toro, that's what it's called. And so much so that even if you want to scream, all of the wind gets knocked out of you. So you're just like, ah. And then you can't, there's nothing happening because it's so fast and everything is coming at you so fast. It's really scary. So I get that. Let's see. Fun Disney Fan says I wasn't alive for original Journey yet. I say the current version is a pale shadow because I've seen the YouTube video. I will definitely watch it. Patrick says the worst thing about Space Mountain is nothing. Well, that's cheating. That's not the topic, but that's totally fair. Wait, which one? The one in Disneyland or the one in Disney World? Because I agree the Disney World one has nothing wrong with it. I say the Disneyland one could have a better track. Janet says, I'm 5 feet. I'm allowed on all the big kid rides. Yeah, we may be little, but we are fierce. Yes, everyone's saying El Toro. Yeah, that was the one that I was thinking of. I have the opposite problem to you. This is from Hero 75. At 6'8", some of the seats, Space Mountain, are actually painful for me to sit in. I can imagine. I might be small, but like Space Mountain for me is still hard to get in and out of. I always joke that I want to crawl out of Space Mountain at the end and onto like the docking area. So I can't even imagine at your height what that must feel like. That sucks. I'm sorry. Courtney says my sister can only do El Toro once per Six Flags trip because it's so intense. Definitely get that. I think so. One of my other favorite rides before Flight of Passage came out was Mission Space. You guys clearly tell I really like a lot of thrill rides. And I think my biggest issue with that is just how short it is. I get it because it's a very, like I always do Orange, and it's very intense, and they probably don't want the experience to be much longer than 4 minutes because I think that's even for the best equipped people probably starts to get harder to handle. But I kind of wish it was like, give me another minute. Give me another minute of that experience and I'd be really happy. I'm also glad that with the recent refurb, they killed the exit music. That used to be this like weird pop song that I thought was horrible. It was so over the top and bad. So they actually fixed one of the things I didn't like. Veronica Jude says the only thing that bugged me on Flight of Passage was trying to figure out what the bronze-looking discs on the side of the cliff were. I don't know what that is. Now I need to look that up. I don't even know. Oh, you mean like in the queue? I don't know what that is. Now you got me questioning things. Fun Disney Fan says the worst part about Disney World Space Mountain is the second half of the queue where it is only switchbacks and all you can see is people loading. This is the part that takes 60 minutes to get through. Yeah, I agree. That is the longest part. But I do like the part just before the switchbacks because I love waving at people and seeing if they'll wave back like while they're taking off. That's always fun to me. I like interacting with people that way. Oh yes, happy 2319 day. Hi Jamie, good to see you. If you guys don't know what 2319 day is, I mean today is February 3rd, 2019. 2319 was that like big thing in Monsters Inc. when the sock was attached and, you know, they like brought over. Yeah. It's great. So 2319 day is today. Only time ever, I guess. Are they celebrating it over there, Jamie? Jamie is a cast member in Hollywood Studios, so I'd love to know what they're doing, if they're doing something. Veronica says, if you look closely, they are drums and they hang off ropes to bang into them. If you're on the right side, you see them better. Interesting. So that's what those discs are we're talking about. Janet says the worst thing about Space Mountain is the bar always hurts my stomach for some reason. Yeah, not the most comfortable ride in the world. Brad says not really an issue with the ride, but I can't stand when people use Flash on Haunted Mansion or anywhere for that matter. Don't use it there. Do not use it in Pirates. Don't use it in any dark areas. It's terrible. It ruins the ride. It ruins effects. I got really mad once when somebody was taking photos of the ballroom scene in Haunted Mansion because it completely kills the effect if you have Flash on, and you can tell that the ghosts that are dancing are like mannequins essentially, and it just really brings you out of the experience. Riley says, I'm going to Universal this month and I'm not taking a quick stop at Disney. I just want to say how sorry I am. It's okay. I forgive you. I understand. Marshall says, so I'm about Rob's size. Curious if I'd be good to ride Flight of Passage. Any idea if he rides it? Yeah, I've ridden it with him. He's been totally fine. He did say that like the calf restraints do feel a little tight, but he was totally fine on the ride. Didn't have any problems, so I think you should be okay. Traveling Soldier says, little off topic, but what do you think about the rumor of Dinosaur becoming indie as well? Not into it, just because I think I think of how Indy is right now as any indication of how it will be there in terms of like it breaks down a lot. It has a lot of effects that aren't working. I don't know. I like Dinosaur a lot. I like the concept of it. I like the story of it. It wouldn't... I guess I'd be okay with Indiana Jones being in Animal Kingdom. I just don't want it to replace Dinosaur. Like, I'd rather just be a new own thing. That's all. Hey, Caitlin. Thank you for joining. Janet says the worst thing about It's a Small World is the song gets stuck in my head and it gives me insomnia because my brain keeps singing it the night after. Oh my God, that's so funny. I'm a reverse person. I wake up in the morning with songs in my head. And I joke that that's my soundtrack for the day. It can be completely random songs. Like, it might be something I haven't even listened to in forever. I will wake up and immediately have a song stuck in my head. And I'm just like, okay, this is a soundtrack for today. Because for some reason, my brain decided to do that. Jamie said, no, they are not doing anything to celebrate 2319 Day, but you are wearing an orange shirt with a sock on the back. I've been seeing some photos of that. People have been wearing socks on their shirts to celebrate 2319 Day. Fun Disney fan says, I don't like Flash there. I don't like it in a house. I don't like it with a mouse. Oh my God, you're so funny. Don't like Flash in a tree. Don't like it on a train. No, I will not like Flash in Disney World. Yeah, I think that's everybody. Thanks, Dr. Seuss. That was a good one. Caitlin says, how do I convince my best friend who hates Dinosaur to go on it with me because I've never been on it? Go alone. I'm not lying. You're talking to a solo trip person. You can say, hey, best friends, I understand that you don't want to do this. It might be too scary for you. It might not be your jam. Why don't you go do a thing, and I'm going to go do a thing, and then we'll meet up afterwards. Honestly, that's how I kind of feel, because I don't think that you should stop yourself from doing something you want to do, but you should not force somebody to go on something that they don't want to do either, right? Like, if she's afraid she's going to be scared, that could be a bad experience. So I think, come to a consensus of like, hey, you want to do this thing, you can go do that. I'm going to go to Dinosaur. We'll just meet up in like half an hour. I think that's honestly the best way to handle it. Patrick says the worst thing about Galaxy's Edge when it comes out, 9-hour wait times. I'm ready. We are going to try to do it in Disneyland after D23, which is going to be when everyone's going to be trying to do it. I'm ready to dedicate like an entire park day to whatever. Like, I want to first really walk around and like see all the details and stuff. And when walking around is going to be difficult, I need a lot of time for that. And then 2, I'm ready to wait in line. I really, really am. Like, for me, the Galaxy's Edge is like, it's like the thing that I personally feel like is going to be worth it for me. Everyone's got their thing. I feel like Galaxy's Edge, like, I'm ready to do it. Let's see. It's going pretty fast in here, so I'm trying to get to as much as I can. Going to Magic Kingdom for one day in April, do you know what's the best way to spend it? I want to do so much, but I feel like I won't be able to have time, so I want to spend my day wisely. So our first question, before I can answer this question, are you doing Park Hopper? Do you have a Park Hopper ticket? Let me know, and then I can give you a good answer. Fun Disney fan says the worst part of Test Track is the brakes at the end that feel like a car accident. Oh my God, yes! I forget about this until every time I ride it. You're going so fast and you're like, this is great. And then the end, guys, is literally this. You pull in, then you're just like, ugh. Oh God, my heat is turning on. I apologize for that lovely noise. Or I have ghosts. This was a thing I was talking about on a recent podcast I was on, that maybe I just brought some ghosts home from the Haunted Mansion, and that we just keep it in this back room. The monsters. They live in my basement. But yeah, that break thing is the worst. Riley says, some of the indoor queues get really dark, especially when it's bright out and your eyes just want to adjust to the darkness. I get excited when I don't run into a wall. Sometimes Space Mountain can be like that. When it's like super bright out and you get really into the darkness, it's dark, but I kind of love it. Janet says, worst thing about Kilimanjaro Safari is when you wait forever to ride and the animals hide. Don't go on strike, animals, come back. I agree. Kilimanjaro is such a hit or miss. You can have the best safari or the worst safari. Just completely out of your control. So I want to go back to this question that I had about the one day at Disney, and you said you don't think you're going to have park hoppers. So the park that has the most to do, like if that's what you really want and is quintessential Disney World, I would say go to Magic Kingdom, because you have the most attractions. You've got a lot of great atmosphere, a lot of great streetmosphere, things like Dapper Dan's, and all of that. I feel like this is really the worst timing heat. It's not even that cold out, guys. It's like, feels like 50 degrees here right now after it felt like negative 20 something like a few days ago. So I don't know what this is about. This is New York. Our pipes are so old in our buildings that this is what you listen to sometimes in the middle of the night. So the sound sounds just like the test track breaks. It does. Maybe that's what it is. So yeah, I would go to Magic Kingdom if you one day, no park hopper, has the most attractions, quintessential. It's hard. It's hard because it all depends on what your interests are. If you want to just take an atmosphere and have good food and drinks and take it slow, I would say Epcot. That's just me. Let's see. Hero says, I'm arriving in Disney about half a day before the rest of my family. Any recommendations on what to do outside the park? Going to the Void in Edison, but the rest of the day is open. I haven't been there since 2009, so no park stuff without the family. I get that. Ooh, that is a good question. So Disney Springs has quite a lot. I would recommend, scoping out, maybe getting a drink at the Edison, but I would do like food elsewhere just so you can experience more things. They also have that like hot air balloon thing that you can go up way above a bunch of the parks and stuff. You get a really cool aerial view of the area. That might be something that you want to do. If you're willing to do things outside of Disney Springs, I would like resort hop a little bit. Maybe do the monorail resorts, just kind of like hang out in Polynesia and get a Dole Whip. Go to the Grand Floridian and smell in that delicious smelling air. I don't know why it smells so good in that lobby all the time. It just does. Go over to the Contemporary, like just have fun exploring the resorts. I think would be a really great thing to do. Fun Disney fan says I've been able to time out the breaks so I can brace for them. Talking about Test Track, yeah. Pete Booth says, I hear you guys had to have a vortex or something. We did. We had the polar vortex, which wasn't so bad here. I cannot complain. It felt like negative 25 at one point, which I know sounds horrible, but in like Chicago, it felt like negative 55. So when I compare things, not so bad. But now it's like 50s for the next 3 days. I don't know, you guys, whatever. Here in Florida, it's currently 83 degrees. Fun Disney fan says it feels like 89. I wish I was there. That's all I gotta say. Let's see. Caitlin says, I just want to say thank you for all of your Fast Pass videos and tips because I got Slinky Dog, Flight of Passage, and Mine Train. Whoa, you got like the trifecta of Fast Passes there. I am impressed and I am flattered and honored that you think that this was because of me, but my God, Caitlin, lucky, lucky girl. I haven't even been on Slinky Dog yet, so you're very, very lucky. Stephen Real says, my favorite ride is Haunted Mansion Holiday, only thing is that it's seasonal. So that's really funny because someone earlier said that that was their least favorite part about Haunted Mansion was the holiday overlay, and now you're saying it's your favorite part. Whoa. Whoa. I don't know, guys. Just, gotta hold you both back. Don't fight over that. Meadow37 says the worst part of Kilimanjaro safaris is listening to other riders insist during the ride that the animals are animatronic. To be fair, look at Jungle Cruise. Look at most of the other rides in Disney. I can understand them going on a whole bunch of different rides and then being like, well, this has to also be animatronic as well, right? Let's see. Fun Disney fan says the Disney Springs balloon is so cool and is pretty cheap. I haven't done it, but I know that it's really cool. I've done parasailing before, which they apparently got rid of, which totally bums me out. So I know that like those views can be pretty amazing. Let's see. Alipop says you can explore the resorts without a park ticket. Yeah, absolutely. So if you're, first of all, if you're not driving, you're taking, transportation, not a problem. If you're driving, you can literally tell them that you're checking out the resort, or maybe that you have a restaurant reservation, because maybe you do. You can absolutely park at the resorts for free if you are not a guest. They just don't want you like taking advantage of that, trying to park there and then like never coming back. You know what I mean? But absolutely you can park there. If you tell the cast member when you're going in, like, I'm just checking out, like I just want to see what it looks like. I am getting food at Kona Cafe. They will wave you on through. They're not going to stop you. Let's see. Olipop also says, have you ever done the free Animal Kingdom Lodge food tour? I have not. The first and only time I've ever been to Animal Kingdom Lodge was my most recent trip. We ate at Sanaa. It was wonderful. But I have not done the free food tour. I did do a entire video about free things and free tours in Disney World. And that was one of the ones that I brought up, but I have not experienced it myself. Let's see. Worst thing about Haunted Mansion is that when the line gets long, there's no place to hide from the sun. You just stand there burning. I think people could also say that about most of Toy Story Land. Let's see. The Traveling Soldier says, the ride I love and hate is one of the most is the bus from the airport and then breaks down. God, I hope it doesn't break down. Oh my gosh, we're all over the place. Let's see. I saw the Kingdom Hearts question. I will come back to that in a second. P. Booth asked if I had finished my puzzle. No. If you guys have seen previous videos, I got a 1,000-piece puzzle. There's a lot of purple in it. We are about, optimistically, I'd say a third of the way through the puzzle. But also, I've been so busy. So I come home from work and I'll do a couple pieces. Like, I'm not in a rush to like finish it. I just kind of do it slowly. Let's see. Ian Dalton says, my favorite attraction is Spaceship Earth. The worst part is that listening to the soundtrack when I can't sleep, Jeremy Irons or Judi Dench. So now the attraction makes me sleepy. So you've psychologically trained yourself to think, this music, tired, and now you just sleep on the ride. That's terrible. That sounds so disappointing. Steven says, I love Soaring Around the World, but if you don't get the front row, there's a bunch of feet dangling above you. I don't even mind the feet. I just hate the sides being so bendy. The feet I can look beyond because I can just like stare at the screen, but the warped sides really sucks. Riley says, I love the plane ride going to Disney, but I hate it when the plane sometimes won't have How to Train Your Dragon, and I get really bummed out. If that is the worst part of your plane trips, then you must have the best plane trips ever, because I can think of worse things that happen. Okay, so we're going to open this up to more general questions. We see a lot coming in about planning, about Kingdom Hearts, and all of that. I definitely want to just open this up now to like just general conversation, so let's go for it. But going back, Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay, so I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game. I know that sounds terrible. I'm a really big gamer, like probably is the hobby I spend the most money on in a calendar year, every year. I tried the first Kingdom Hearts, and I thought it was kind of boring. Not that the story was boring, I just think that the first few hours, all of the stuff you kind of have to go through and run around and do, just seemed like a slog to me. Fun Disney fan, thank you for coming. See you later. I'm sorry you have to go to work, but hopefully it's not a bad work day. So I really tried it, and I'm talking old school on the original PlayStation, tried it. I don't know if I'm going to get Kingdom Hearts 3. I feel like if I'm going to, I need to give the originals a try again. So I might get like that PS4 like collection thing and try it one more time. But I know everyone like gives me so much guff for not having really played Kingdom Hearts because I love Disney and I love video games. But there was just something about it. I just couldn't get into it. So I think when I have some time, I'm going to give it a try. Let's see. People says, what's your favorite Disney channel, excluding Rob's, of course? Darn it. That's my easy answer. No. I'm a big fan of a lot of people. So Michael K is amazing. He does daily videos. I don't know how he does that. I wish I could too. Amazing vlogs. I got to meet him in the last trip, which will be in a vlog coming up. He is the nicest dude. He's just so great, and I really love his channel. Napri AP, who were in here earlier, I don't know if they're still hanging about, are a couple that is from Disneyland, annual pass holders, and they have a great channel. They do this really great like merchandise update videos every time new stuff comes in that are just fun and edited really beautifully, and I really, really like that as well. Oh my gosh, there's like so many. There's so many. I'm like literally looking at my subscriptions of all of my peeps right now. I also really like DSNY Newscast. Jack is also just a really good guy. Really great place for news. Probably like 3 of my favorite channels right there. Oh, Napri is still here. Okay, so you know, if you click on their thing, you can check out their channel. Let's see. Caitlin says, do extra magic hours actually cut down waits? I want to ride Soarin' before my garden grow breakfast, and I don't want to wait longer than 30 minutes. If you're going to get there bright and early, yeah, 100%. Mornings especially, because less people are willing to get up early in the morning than they are to stay late for extra magic hours. So I think if you make Soarin' like your first stop when you walk right in, you'll probably get on within 10 to 15 minutes. 100%. Hero says, have you or Rob done any of the tours at Disney World? I already plan to do the World Showcase tour, all 5 hours of it, but I'm open to others. I have 10 days to spend. I've done a couple. I've done some of the shorter ones. Rob, I know, has done Keys to the Kingdom. He loved it. I want to do that. Again, it is also like 5 hours, so definitely need to like make the time for it, but I really want to do that. Like, I feel like I want to try to fit that into like my November trip this year. I've done the Caring for Giants tour in Animal Kingdom, which is about elephants. You get to go backstage a bit. They take you to this backstage area that's actually connected to the, why am I blanking out? It's connected to Safari, so you can see some of the trucks like way off in the distance, but you get to stand in this own area. You get to see the elephants a bit closer, you know, learn a bit more about them, and that was really cool. I think it was only an hour and a half. And then I've also done Behind the Seeds, which is the Living with the Land tour, which was also super neat. Again, only an hour, pretty cheap. I want to say like $30 or something to do it. We got to eat fresh cucumbers. We got to feed the tilapia in their tanks. Like, it was really, really neat to kind of walk around basically the ride, you know, the area that they're growing everything, and to learn about it. It was cool. I would like to do more tours in general. I feel like that's definitely something that I've started to love. And I did both of those solo. Oh, we're dropping things here, guys. I did both of those solo and did them just fine. So, yeah, super fun. Let's see. Brad says Disney Food Blog is great. Yeah, they are really great. I don't subscribe to them, but they're one of those that I catch every once in a while. They do have a really good channel. I'm not always big about channels that are just B-roll, but I do like some of their videos. Riley says, earlier you mentioned a Dole Whip, and now I really want one. I want one every day of my life, you guys. Like, I just need a Dole Whip machine in my house. Somebody asked me earlier, because I don't know if they were able to be here, but how the crowd levels were the past trip compared to the previous January trip. About the same, which means to say that they've been crazy. Like, I feel like both times I've been in January, 2019, 2018, pretty packed. I've also done it 2017 and I think 2016, and I remember those years being not as crazy. But I feel like the last couple of years, like I've said before, there is no downtime anymore in Disney World. You've got days, you catch days. We did have a day where we, like, the last day before we left, we were just walking onto things in Epcot. And, like, that happens. They still exist, but you don't get, like, long stretches of that anymore. Caitlin says, do you watch Tim Tracker? I do sometimes. I know that they've gone off more into some of their personal life stuff, which is cool. By all means, they've been doing it for so long. So, like, I know changing up content is really important to keep you excited about creating content. Not really my jam, but I do like some of the side stuff he's done. Like, he did a couple of interesting museums in Orlando that were cool. I loved their resort tour videos. Like, they would go and check out every inch of every resort, which I think is so helpful, no matter where you're staying. So yeah, I mean, I think that they're great YouTubers. and they are like, you know, the vets. So yeah, I do watch them from time to time. Pete Booth says, favorite non-Disney park. I don't go to a lot of non-Disney parks anymore. I grew up going to a lot of theme parks. My parents didn't have a ton of money. Like, you know, we were middle class, but middle class in New York, which is tough. And so we didn't do a lot of flying to vacations, so we drove a lot. So we did things like Busch Gardens in Virginia, Hershey Park in Pennsylvania. Like, we would drive down the coast. So I used to go to those a lot. I remember really liking Busch Gardens in Virginia when I was younger, quite a bit. So maybe that one I would like to go back. Let's see. Brad says favorite snack from each park. Ooh, good one. Okay, so Magic Kingdom, easy. Dole Whip, done. Epcot, favorite snack. I mean, it's not a snack. It's more a drink. They have really good margaritas. I just gotta say, like, Mexico is great margaritas. So just a margarita, doesn't matter the flavor, from Epcot. Hollywood Studios favorite snack. I like the carrot cake cookie. Yeah, I think that would probably be it for there. And then Animal Kingdom. I don't know. I feel like I don't have that many snacks there. Would it be cheating if I said the Dole Whip with rum in Animal Kingdom? Because I already said Dole Whip. Yeah, I feel like actually now come to think of it, I could be snacking more in Animal Kingdom. I think I need to do that next time. Just saying. Victoria says, I just had a say, love your touring plans video. My trip starts tomorrow, and it was kind of hard to find crowd calendar tip videos. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like I said, I don't take crowd calendars so, you know, strictly. Don't let them scare you too much, but it is going to give you a good idea of how things are going to fluctuate. And then the lines, like just the reports of like the length of the lines is so key. Go with that for sure. Meadow 37 says, money, not an option. Rank your top 3 resorts. One is Polynesian, 100%. I've stayed there for a couple of days before. Wasn't enough. It was like split stay. Loved it. So that's my number 1. Number 2, I'm probably going to say Animal Kingdom Lodge. I've never stayed there, but I did get to see it finally, and it just seems so my jam. Like, I love Animal Kingdom, so I think like the decor and stuff is my jam. Number 3 is tough. It's going to be a tie. I know that's cheating, but I really love the boardwalk. I've stayed there before. It's so convenient to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. I love the boardwalk area, so that's got that going for it. But I really love Fort Wilderness too. Like, I love how spread out it is. I love how many things there are to do there. I love the cabins. So that's a little bit tough. So more like top 4, I guess. Hi, Marianne. Great to see you here. Caitlin says, have you had the at-home Mickey Premium bars? Not my favorite, to be honest. No, because I think that they're selling a lot of them in places like Target and Publix and like a lot of the bigger grocery stores. And here in New York, we have a ton of like privately owned grocery stores. The one that I go to all the time is just, it's like a small, whatever, non-chain one that's 2 blocks from me. I did check to see if they have it. They don't. So I think they're mostly in bigger stores. So I haven't tried them yet, but that's a bummer to hear that they're like not as good as the park ones. I mean, how do you mess that up? Riley says, I tried so many different shoes at the parks and my feet usually hurt really bad. Tell me your secrets. I mean, depending on how many days you're going to go, your feet are going to kill you anyway. But my secret sauce for this last trip, well, aside from swapping out shoes, which I normally do, is sneakers from Cole Haan. I swear, they have some of the comfiest sneakers I've ever had. They're going to be a little bit pricey, but they usually have these like crazy good insoles. And one of the pairs that I had has a little hidden wedge in it that actually makes it more comfortable because it's like taking some of the pressure off. You can't see it. It's not like a big wedge or something. And the inside is like really soft. And their shoes are very lightweight, very flexible. I swear by Cole Haan sneakers. I walk a lot in the city too, and they feel great. Avery says, I watched your video on solo trips, and I was wondering what your thoughts were on going on a solo trip when you're under 18. You know, first of all, make sure your parents are cool with that. That's the first caveat. Second of all, I think of all the places to go alone when you're younger, Disney's going to be one of the safest and probably easiest ones to travel to. I'll be honest that at that age, I was probably too anxious to travel alone, but I think that Disney is incredibly safe. It is very easy to get around, and I think if you're going to travel anywhere alone, like that's the key place to do it. But, just make sure that you feel comfortable, and again, make sure your parents are cool with that. Bill P says, did you hear about the news about Zootopia? How would you feel about it coming to Disney World? Rob and I talked a little bit about this on the TTA podcast, but I've never seen Zootopia. It's one of those that just like seems to always get by me, so I don't have a lot of feelings on it. I think it's cool that it's happening. I'd be totally fine with something like that coming to Animal Kingdom or something. I feel like that's where it would fit in. But I guess we have to wait and see, what exactly all of it's going to entail. Marianne says, how are your plans for Disneyland Paris? Barely any plans right now, but slowly starting to figure out where I want to stay, what flight I'm taking. I know my dates. Let's put it that way. I'm going to be there, I believe, from September 5th through 7th. So I am going to have like a 3-day park ticket. And I'm trying to debate where I'm going to stay. I think I'm going to stay on property. It's going to cost me a bit more than if I just stay at a hotel outside, like, most Disney parks. But when do I ever get to go to Disneyland Paris? So I feel like it's worth spending. But I am going to start doing videos on my planning process and what I'm learning. Just not quite there yet because the trip isn't for a while. Let's see. Janet says, Animal Kingdom's best food was the lumpia, whatever that's called. Yeah, that's, that is a food that is often eaten in Asia. I had, like, the actual stuff when I was in Southeast Asia for, my honeymoon. So, in general, that stuff is really good. I haven't tried it at Animal Kingdom, though. Pete Booth says, most boring Disney attraction. I would probably say Country Bears. I'm not really a big fan. Or, oh god, this is going to get me even more trouble. Tiki Room? I went on it again recently and I didn't love it. Oh gosh, I'm getting myself in so much trouble. Sorry guys, it's true. My Disney park memories says, since I only go solo to Disney World, don't ask strangers this question. Is it me or do you feel crushed during the backwards part? Depends on where you sit. If you're in the back of that train, you're going to feel it because you're getting all of the G's from an entire train of people ahead of you pushing you back. I think either way you feel it, but I'm telling you, in that back, yeah, you kind of get crushed. Janet says most boring would be Hall of Presidents, maybe. Especially now with the Cheeto in it, and Pete Booth says that's the answer I was hoping for. I don't really go on it. It's not a ride you go on, but so I guess I just didn't think of it because I don't really go to it. Janet says my old person tip for foot pain at Disney is to start a regime of ibuprofen the day you leave and take it every 4 hours the entire week. Keeps the swelling down. Not great for your liver, but it's only for a week. Well, if you're not drinking too much at Disney, then yeah, I'd say that's probably smart. Some people do, ice things afterwards. They get ice in their ice bucket and they do little ice baths afterwards. Whatever works, right? If you got some extra money, maybe just get a massage at the spa. That should help. Real Eric M says, if you want to relax, have a drink, and hang out anywhere in the parks or resorts, where would that be? I love having a drink in Epcot around World Showcase. That will always, it doesn't matter what the drink is, it doesn't matter where in World Showcase I am. I like sitting there and people watching. I like looking out over the lake. It's just gorgeous. I can't get over how beautiful Epcot can really be sometimes. So I think that's what I would do. Maybe in there's that little section that's between France and the UK that goes down out towards the water more. I probably would sit there. Pete Booth says, at least you don't have to worry about crowds at Disneyland Paris, and especially in September. Apparently that's quiet season, so I'm excited about that. Riley says, what Disney attractions from other countries do you think you want to have here? Probably Mystic Banner, because it's supposed to be amazing. We are getting Ratatouille already, so there's that. And I guess the new Beauty and the Beast ride that's coming out over there. I feel like, yeah, looking at those animatronics, I don't even know what the ride is yet. It's not even done. I want that here. That's all I know. I want animatronics that look that amazing here. Marianne says, how are the crowd levels? Oh, yes. So I answered this a little earlier because you left me the message, but I'll answer it again for you. Crowd levels this January trip compared to last one were very much the same in that it was very, very busy. I was saying I haven't seen a January that was quiet since like 2016. So pretty darn busy for most of our days, tapered off towards the last couple of days. We even walked on things on our last day, but pretty darn busy. Let's see. Victoria says, long as you wait for alien swirling saucers. I think we waited for 30 minutes on our last trip, and that sounded about right. Even that felt a little long. It's a fun ride, don't get me wrong, but like, it's just a cutesy ride. It would be like waiting super long for like teacups. I just don't think that's like super worth it. Caitlin says, like I said earlier, I have the Flight of Passage Fast Pass and a Safari and Everest Fast Pass. Do you think I could park hop halfway through the day? I don't know what time your Fast Passes are, but yes. I feel like if you get them all done, you can do a lot in Animal Kingdom. And even on top of that, like if you say, oh, I want to do dinosaur, catch a Lion King show or something, and you could still be out of there by like 1 o'clock. So, Caitlin says, once I use those passes, can I get Fast Passes to Epcot or Magic Kingdom? Yes, but you have to finish those 3 Fast Passes before you can book your 4th. But yes, you will be able to change the park Fast Passes because we've done it a million times. Janet says, is it me or is Disney getting more packed and crowded these days? I think so. And then, you know, they're opening up a lot of resorts now, not necessarily a lot more park space. So I get a little concerned about, you know, now we're going to have more rooms that they're obviously going to be looking to book up. How much more crowded is that going to make things, you know, but at the same time, it means that Disney's successful. They're making money, which as people who want to be going there all the time, we want that. So, you know, I don't know. It is what it is. You just now you gotta go with the mindset of, you know, it's going to be busy. And as long as you can, like, accept that, I think you're good. I'm going to be wrapping up in the next, like, 5 minutes. So if you want to just shoot me some questions. Last time we did this, I was like, lightning round. Just shoot me questions, and I will answer them in the next few minutes before I wrap up. Because I got to get ready for dumb football times. I don't care about football, guys. I'm sorry. I have to go to a party, but I don't care. Let's see. Riley says, I hate how short the alien swirling saucers is. It seems like the line should be so much faster with how short it is. Yeah, I mean, it is really short, and they load a lot of people, and it is a really long line. It is kind of interesting how that works out. Caitlin, I like how you did the pew-pew of the lightning round from the TTA. If you guys don't watch the TTA, we do lightning round questions, and I literally do the sound effect every single time. I don't know how that started. Marianne says, thank you so much for this live stream. You have such awesome content and great vlogs. Thank you, Marianne. I know you've been watching the channel for a really long time. I appreciate that so much. Avery says, favorite Disney memory ever, go. It was the first time I ever saw Illuminations. I was 16. I was with my whole family. We accidentally walked out when it started. We weren't planning to actually watch the fireworks. We walked out of dinner in Japan. My mom walked out. She started to see them. I saw her jaw hit the floor. I'd never really experienced something like that, like seeing my mom have that sort of magic. It was a very, very special thing for me. My mom unfortunately passed away, I want to say 12 years this month, actually. And so Illuminations is very, very dear to me because of that special moment. And it is hands down my favorite Disney memory I've ever had, despite all of my trips. Let's see. Who will win the sports game thing tonight? I don't know. Sports. A team. One of the teams is gonna win. I don't know. Real Eric M says, character meetups with full-grown adults seem awkward. Are you comfortable with them? Yes. And I've done them solo. Actually, I do them mostly solo because a lot of my friends don't want to do it because they also think it's awkward. And I love doing it alone. I don't think it's awkward. They're pretty used to it. So, Meadow37 said, your husband seemed happy at Disney. Don't tell him I said that. He was okay. You guys didn't get to see the grouchy parts because I didn't film that. We might have him interested in a Disney cruise, though. I know. It's crazy. We'll see. Brad says, the most overlooked detail in the parks. I think all the signs in Harambe Village. Slow down. Read them. They really tell a story of the people in that village and the different things going on there and events and shops and all of that. It's really, really cool. Real Eric M says Patriots or Rams. I guess Rams because I think I'm supposed to hate the Patriots because I'm in New York and everyone else seems to hate New England. And my brother-in-law's favorite team is the Rams. He's actually at the Super Bowl today with my mother-in-law. I know, crazy. So I guess I'll root for the Rams for him. Veronica says, same here, Illuminations means a lot to my mom and me. Epcot is our happy place. Ugh, it's so good. I'm going to be so sad when it's gone. Riley says, what rides do you think are a one-time thing and feel boring after about 3 times? Ooh, that is a good one. That is a good one. I'm trying to go through my brain right now. Well, I mean, they closed it now, but I was going to say Rafiki's Planet Watch. Not really a ride, but that whole area was did it once, never need to do it again. Let's see. Love seeing you guys with Michael. Thanks for the great content. Thank you, Krista, for being here. Bree says, haha, that Space Mountain line got to all of us. Oh my God, it did. Jesus, that was a day. Real Eric M said, wine or beer? I used to be a big beer snob. I mean, I am a beer snob now. Love craft beer. Unfortunately, with a lot of the stomach issues I have, I can't really drink it as much. So wine. I am a white wine drinker. I love a good Sauvignon Blanc. Marianne says, anytime I have a friend or coworker planning a trip to Disney World, I recommend your channel to them. Thank you. I appreciate that. Pete says, would Super Bowl be more interesting with all the players in Disney character costumes? Maybe. Or if the teams were based on different IPs. So it's I don't know, Frozen versus Tangled. Then yeah, I'd be into it. I'd be rooting for Tangled. You know? Brad says, jumbo turkey leg, yes or yes? I think they're okay. I don't think they're that great. They're good. I don't think they're super great though. All right, guys, I am going to wrap up. I got to get ready for Super Bowl things. It has been so great hanging out with you guys. It has been amazing. You guys there's 34 of you here. There's so many of you here. And that is amazing. I'm so glad that you guys have hung out with me today. So I will have another live stream. Actually, I'm hoping for another one this month. But thank you as always. And as I always say, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are the best. If it wasn't for you, my channel wouldn't exist. Plain fact, plain simple. Anyway, have a great rest of the day, whether you're doing the football thing, you're not doing the football thing, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.